If I had legs, I'd kick you. 2025. This is an American drama. It's written and directed by Mary Bronstein, and she actually has a role in the film, a small role, but that's interesting. And my friend commented on it being a woman who wrote and directed it. I won't say too much about what she said. But I found that, fairly fascinating simply because I think it was, more seeing the wider picture in some respects. I mean, you can see things on different levels, and I think that's what the difference was, and that's what I would explain difference in differences of opinion. So I don't think everyone would feel the same way as I did, but I thought it was pretty amazing, quite fascinating, very stressful, really well acted, especially by Rose Byrne, who plays Linda. She's like the protagonist. There's a few other main characters like Conan O'Brien, who plays Linda's therapist. A lot of characters don't seem to have names like Linda's daughter. Um, we don't even see much of her. We hear her more, but we do see her a little bit towards the end. There's Caroline, played by Danielle MacDonald, and she's one of Linda's patients because she's a psychotherapist. Um, there's Charles, who's Linda's husband, whom we we hear a lot more on the phone, especially at the start, because he's away on business. He's away long term, many, many weeks. He's um, captain of a ship, I think something like that. And the trailer really lured me in. I found it seriously intriguing because you see quite a few disastrous events, especially the thing right at the start where there's a flood in her home and her daughter's in the bathroom saying, "There's water in the bathroom upstairs and please come quickly." And Linda gets on the phone to her the repairs team for the landowner and whatever. And as she's explaining about the water, the ceiling collapses. You see that in the trailer, and it's pretty dramatic. And oh my gosh, what a disaster! What an absolute nightmare. But um, she moves out into a motel whilst there's repairs with her daughter. And her daughter needs, special help because she's I don't know what condition she has. It might be autism, or DHD, that sort of thing, ADHD. Might be related to that because she doesn't like the textures of certain things, but I don't know. But she certainly has a kind of feeding disorder where she needs a tube, um, inserted into her stomach, a feeding tube, so that she's not getting all the nutrients she needs, and this is making it difficult. So she's, Rose, no, Linda, played by Rose, is seeing, uh, medical people, and it's stressful. It's the USA. It's like bills, I guess, as well. Don't hear that much about the bills, but there's some points where, oh my gosh, she's got that stress on top of everything else. But just the thing of the talk about the tube, to talk about her care plan may need renegotiation, and whether that is the same as social services, I'm not quite sure, but it seems possibly quite threatening. So there's so much stress. There's just so much going on. Linda's a psychotherapist, and she she has run-ins with various people, a parking attendant. Uh, there's this stuff with a hamster. Won't say much about that. There's so many stressors, so many things. You see her screaming into a pillow in the trailer, but I mean, gosh, it's intense. I saw this film after a fairly intense day, so it really ramped it up in my head. I thought, "Oh my gosh, this is just, relentless." It just is, it's not a restful film. I really was grateful to see it, but it was a very difficult film in some respects, and, so, um, there's there's a few scenes that, oh, I mean, there's eating scenes, quite a lot of eating scenes, eating on the go, eating everywhere and talking. I don't like that, so I block my ears a bit. But then there's some squishy stuff, not that much, and there's some fluids, bodily fluids, a bit, I find those sort of scenes quite difficult. But they're fairly relatively fleeting. Well, there's one scene that I thought, "Oh my gosh, this is going on forever," but it wasn't really. It just probably felt like it to me because I was thinking, "What? What is happening?" But, I think for most people would probably think it's not a big deal. I know that from friends I've talked to in the past who said, I mean, they're not bothered by the eating and talking scenes, but, I just find, I guess with my it just triggers me quite a lot. I find it difficult, but I cope. But wow. So um this like so the daughter talks about not liking certain things. She wants a hamster, but there's a lot of contradictory stuff. There's a lot of mistakes made. It's hugely entertaining in a way because it's, like, not actually happening to me, but, I mean, I felt so sorry for Linda at the same time. Oh, the last character with a character called Linda, of course, was, very different Linda, but, someone, I probably had more sympathy with this Linda. The last film was the one that was the Sam Raimi, um film on a that, sort of a bit of a horror film, comedy horror, um, on a on an island, but, oh my gosh, this hasn't got anywhere near that sort of thing, but I was really, looking forward to seeing this, and, um Linda's partner's away, and that is, with her being, so she's often on the phone, she's been talked to, she's been advised by a lot of people who don't seem to understand how difficult it is that to be there on the ground. I mean, she's a psychotherapist, but um, she gets seen by another psychotherapist in the practice. I don't know whether that's an ideal scenario anyway, but the way it works out isn't that great, and I don't think, the man she sees, Conan O'Brien's character is exactly ideal. I mean, he's drawing boundaries, but he's not exactly doesn't seem that great, I don't think. Um, I feel this reminds us of films like Night Bitch, 2024 and Friendship, um, but that's more, Friendship 2025 saw last year, which is more from, uh, this man's point of view as a sort of alpha male. But again, I think there's a lot of commentary about gender roles. I mean, there's a lot of systemic problems that really are laid bare in films like this, and that's what I found really very I mean, that's what made Linda's character very sympathetic, I thought. The other people, including, like, the woman, the doctor, Dr. Springer, I think, played by Mary Bronstein. I mean, quite a few people just seem unsympathetic, and you think, can't they see how difficult it is? But they're just, like, pushing her. I mean, she's not living at home, she's in a motel, she misses sessions, and so they resort to threats against her, and that means life's even more difficult. She can't sleep because there's this feeding tube pump making the noise, stuff like that. Oh gosh. And, um the failure of others to comprehend what's going on, how difficult it is, that is the main thing. There's so much stress. Um, I don't think I'd have done everything Linda does, but, um, I still have huge sympathy because of, just almost impossible situations. I mean, for this period of time, she's effectively a single mum because her husband's away. Um, I won't explain how things developed towards the end, but that led to where my friend slightly diverged in opinion from me, and I think it was simply because I think I saw something. I'm not sure. Maybe she saw it, but in a different way. So of course we see things. Everyone sees things differently. This is where I'd like to know what other people make of this film. Um, but yeah, I would say it is a definite 9 out of 10. Um, it is really, really brilliantly acted film. It is very stressful, but I would say a dark comedy as well as a drama. I, you know, I wonder, is it based on real life events or just like, I mean, often films are, that's where people get ideas from, but I don't know. I'd be intrigued by that to find out more about where the ideas came from. But I'm just hearing about, I mean, I can imagine people have been through this kind of scenarios. So it is pretty plausible how difficult things get. So 9 out of 10. I'd love to know what you think. So please leave your comments. Please like if you like this review. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please hit the notification button. Um, I'd I'd put in the film, yeah, Night Bitch. I think would be the film because that's a mother at the end of a tether dealing with a young child. And I thought that was that was brilliant as well. I mean, you just think how difficult, and again, it's like other people not really cottoning on, I think, how difficult things are. So I think that's a hilarious film, and I'd recommend you see that. So that's the film I'll link to when I get the chance to put that in the comments. But thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.